right, New York Knicks fans, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Knicks sports talk and entertainment. Well, it was a loss. We dropped the game to the Miami Heat, 109-103. It was a tough stretch. I mean, you had the Chicago game, you had a back-to-back after the Portland win as well. So I was, if you chalk up a game or you look at a game on the schedule that you're thinking, well, that's probably going to be a loss. I kind of had a feeling the Knicks were going to probably drop today against the Heat. You had the big win against Portland, and then, you're having a little bit of a letdown after, 23 hours later. You're back in action again. So it was a good effort. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you take a look, it was up and down as usual. Especially when you're playing a back to back. I mean, quickly was not himself. Neither was R.J. Barrett. Randall again tried to save us. With his 26 points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. Bullock had a nice game with 21 points. Obi Toppin finally got into some offensive action in 10 minutes with 7 points. 4 rebounds and a steal. So, I mean, it is what it is. You're going to have these nights. This team is playing well above expectations, and I think we should be more than happy about that as Knicks fans. Yes, we always want more because it's been such a bad couple years. So we've always want more. We always want to progress. And that kind of leads me into my next topic. Of course, Derrick Rose. There is talk and speculation that the Knicks are on the verge of acquiring Derrick Rose again. I'm not adverse to it. He is a 32-year-old veteran point guard on a 2-year, on a final year of a 2-year, $15 million deal. So he's only going to cost us about $7.5 million. The speculation is that we are sending either a young guard such as Dennis Smith Jr. and probably a second rounder for the veteran Rose. He has a very, of course he has a familiarity with Tom Thibodeau. So I mean, I think it's a good fit. And I've said this a million times before. The Knicks are a quality point guard away from being ultra competitive. Now, they're playing well and they're playing above expectations, but I think they're a true point guard away. And Peyton is a professional point guard. I hate when people are like, well, Peyton sucks. Peyton does this. If you ever look at when we're winning, it's usually Peyton that's leading the way. And I think he gets a bad rap for that because he is still a professional point guard. He just has some deficiencies. He has the inability to stretch the floor, which kind of makes him ill suited to start. Coming off the bench, I think he'd be fantastic, and also his defense. I mean, we still need that defensive play. And I laugh though because if you could combine Peyton's defense and Quickly's offense into one player and make him like 21 years old, I think we would have a fantastic talent there. Now, I know a lot of Knicks fans are going to be saying, okay, well, what's going to happen with Quickly once we bring in Derrick Rose? And honestly, I don't think much. I think it's going to be Peyton that's going to be the person that's on the outside looking in. I mean, like I said, Peyton, for all of his deficiencies, he is still a quality NBA point guard in reference to if you use him off the bench. Not really a starter, and I think Thibodeau is smart enough to understand that Quickly is instant offense. Not today, but he is an instant generator of offense. I've called him Vinnie Johnson, the microwave from the old Detroit Piston days so many different times. But that's what he's good at, and that's what he does. And bringing in someone like Derrick Rose, I think Derrick is going to probably stay on the same progression that he's in now. He's playing like 22, 23 minutes a night. He might see a little bit more. I think he's averaging 14.2 points, 4.2 assists, and 22.8 minutes on the floor, 15 games. I think we're going to kind of put him in call him the starter and put him in the starting lineup, but I don't think that he is going to log those minutes that he did early in his MVP seasons or even when he was here with the Knicks. But I think he is a guy that can still attack the basket. He can still distribute the ball. He still has the ability to score points in bunches at times. If anyone remembers the Minnesota game a couple of years back when he was in Minnesota when he scored 50. So, I mean, he's not going to be the same guy that who he was when the Knicks had him. And that whole weird situation with that happened with that. So, but you know what? He could be a pivotal piece to help the Knicks push forward into the playoffs. So if the rumors and speculations are true that the Knicks are on the verge of trading for him, and we're only giving up Dennis Smith Jr. and his $5.7 million contract, and maybe one of the two second-round picks we have, you know, the one we have via the Pistons or the Charlotte Hornets, I'm fine with that. And like I said, I don't think it's going to stunt the growth Quickly, because I also think Quickly can jump over to the shooting guard position just as well. I think he's actually more suited to play a shooting guard position, a shooting guard role. Or he could be a quasi shooting guard point guard, you know, or he could do, there's so many different ways. But I don't think it's going to stunt his growth. I don't think it's going to hurt his minutes. I do think it is going to take away from the minutes of, players such as, like I said, for Peyton itself. I also think it's going to take away some of the minutes from Austin Rivers. And I think Burks is going to take some of the minutes of Burks. So I think he's going to find a way. Tibbs is going to find a way in the rotation that if we do make this trade, that it will be beneficial for the Knicks. It will help them. It'll help him. Rose will help them stretch the offense. He will be able to attack the basket. He will be able to distribute. And like I said, we don't need him to be the guy he was 8-9 years ago. We need the guy who he is now. And like I said, if we're only giving up Smith and a second rounder, or even Frank Ntilikina in the second rounder, I'm all the way down with that. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Knicks sports talk and entertainment. And as always, if you could subscribe, if you're ringing that bell, you think that means, that'd be awesome.